What's up guys? Today we're doing something a little bit different because, where do I start? Basically, I want to get your thoughts on what direction I should take the car and canopy this year and moving forward. Because to be honest, I'm a little bit stuck. So as most of you know, I've had the Ranger for a few years now. I think I got it back in 2018, I want to say. Let me check. Yep, there we go, 21st of May 2018. That was the first photo I ever took of the Ranger. So I've had it for close to 4 years, and in that time, it's been a great car and continues to be a great car. Sure, it's had a few mechanical issues here and there, but honestly, what car hasn't? However, I feel like I'm coming to a point in time where I really need to decide if I'm gonna keep the Ranger and put a bit of money into trying to bring it to the next level, or do I get a new car? So there's a couple of reasons why this is on my mind, and the first of which is that torsion bar suspension on the front end. Now, it's a lot better since I did that upgrade about a year ago, changing the whole suspension setup, but it's still nowhere near as comfortable as a coil sprung front end. Nor do I have that suspension travel either, which means I've got to be really strategic where I place my wheels on rutted out hills. Mechanically, she's just clocked 180k, so looming close to the big 200, which brings with it some more expensive scheduled maintenance, so stuff like the timing belt. The brakes are also struggling a bit with the weight of the canopy, so they'll also need a pretty major upgrade soon, beyond just replacing the pads. Much further down the list, but still a factor I suppose, is a few creature comforts. So things like cruise control, because the Ranger doesn't have cruise control, it's just my steady right foot. And also just better functioning air conditioning, because while the Ranger has AC, it's only just enough. Right, so what mods are involved in taking the Ranger to that next level? Well, the first thing I'd do is upgrade the whole braking system. I know places like Petters do drum to disc conversion kits for the rear, which would make a massive difference. Or at very least, I'd install a booster and upgrade all the other parts, so new shoes, new rotors and all that. I also like to do some basic cosmetic things as well, like getting the bull bar and the side steps powder coated, because they're looking a little bit worse for wear. To combat that lack of suspension travel, I'd probably look into getting at least a front diff lock. Maybe a rear one too, I'm not too sure at this point, but that way when I lift a wheel off-road, which is just all the time, I'm still gonna have drive to those other wheels and I'll be able to crawl up those hills a bit more slowly and a lot more comfortably. Cruise control's never really been something that's concerned me greatly, but you can get aftermarket kits, so that might be something I look at getting to. I'd also like to get some aftermarket gauges, in particular an EGT gauge, which I've literally been meaning to get for years. Isn't that right, Bianca?
Literally years. Look at me, I'm Daniel, and the first thing I'm gonna do when I get a car is put an EGT gauge in it. He's learnt nothing.
So
nothing
true.
From the Pajero.
So true. So yeah, long overdue that one. And yeah, that's probably it for the upgrades, but all of those certainly aren't gonna be cheap. So I feel like if I went down that route, I probably wouldn't be able to justify buying a new car for a fair while. That brings us on to option B, which would be to sell the Ranger, regrettably, and replace it with something a bit more modern without those drawbacks. As for what I'd get, nothing crazy to be honest. Probably something around 2015, because that's when most of those utes started becoming coil sprung on the front end, which is a huge plus. I don't mind the PX Rangers with those 3.2 litre turbo diesel engines. They look fantastic, and the Mark 1s sell for a pretty reasonable price nowadays. And it'd be nice to stick with a Ranger too. I also really like D-Maxes with their bulletproof 3 litre engines. I always had in my head that they were super expensive, but I've been looking into them over the last few days, and actually they're not as bad as I thought.
79 series.
One thing's for sure though, and that's much to Bianca's disgust, I definitely won't be getting a 79 series. For a couple of reasons. The first is that pretty much every man and his dog has done a 79 series build, so I feel like that would be unoriginal. And secondly, way out of my price range.
No fair.
Sorry Bianca, no 79 series.
I'll get my own.
Actually, that's a good question for you guys. If I get a new car that's not a Ranger, is that like betraying the Exploranger channel name? I like to think that by now the name has kind of just like become the name of the channel and isn't tied to the car. But I'm curious what you guys think, and hopefully I haven't pigeonholed myself into only owning Rangers from here on out. But you know what, if I do change car, I'm sure people will ask, oh, like Exploranger, I wonder what that means. But you know what? You'll know. Everyone here watching this video that's been watching along since the beginning, you'll know where it all started.
And anyone who watches your videos.
Yeah, I guess, and that as well. So let me know what you think. Please help me make this decision, because honestly, right now, I'm sitting on the fence. I don't want to pour all this money into the Ranger, only to want a new car in the next year or so. But equally, I don't want to spend even more money on a new car and then miss the Ranger. Bit of a tough one. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Possibly in a new car. No, definitely not.
In a 79 series.
Definitely not 79 series, but maybe something else. It was a good deal. No, I should say, oh, what a good deal comes. You know what? Who knows?